Alright, so now that we have our company settings completed, the next best thing to do is to go to inventory. This is where you can create and monitor your inventory in the yard, and you can even have locations where your wood is stored. So such as a processing facility, retail, roadside stand, warehouse, or a yard. You can add or remove or edit these locations. And if you have wood inventory set up and you have orders scheduled, you can see what you need based on what you have. So let's say you have 20 cords, and in the month you're going to have 30 cords of a specific wood species or orders. Give you a heads up on what you need to get. So let's add stock. So we're going to select from our what we set up in our settings, what we usually work with. So let's just say mixed hardwood. It's in the wood yard. Currently we have, let's just say, 100 cords of unsplit log. And what does it cost you to get this wood? You can set in that price just to track purchase costs. So let's just say $150 per cord. All right. Now what you're able to do is you can manually change or set the price. So let's say you're adding, you got more inventory in, you're going to add the quantity, or maybe you had to sell some, remove it, or you can just set the value from there. So that's that. So now let's say we took the cords and we split them. So we're gonna, say we split 20 cords, or set. This is where you can just set it yourself, but you could actually say, now maybe I split these cords, and I'm going to split 20 cords and process it. Now it takes the 20 cords off the raw cords and converts them to split cords. And if you bag, let's say, you bagged, each of your bags is a cubic foot, and you bagged 50 bags. Now you have 50 bags. So it takes that volume and reduces it from your split cords. And again, this is kind of what helps track when we set up your products and services. So what that means is if you have roadside stands, it'll deduct the amount of bags every time you sell them, or if you deliver them, it'll deduct them from there. Again, just kind of giving you a heads up on your needs for any orders that are coming up. You also will have the ability, if you choose to integrate it with your mixed hardwood, with your species, to make these products available or unavailable on your quote forms. So if you only want people to see what you have available on hand, you can only, basically someone sets up a delivery for tomorrow and they want to order and pay a deposit for mixed hardwood. If you don't have any, maybe you don't want that to show on the order form. Or you can have, make available if out of stock. So that's an option there as well. All right, so now we're going to move to products and services. Now, you can set up your standard products, such as, cord quantities for bulk wood. You can do bundles. So you can do a bundle or a box, and then the volume for that bundle. So let's just say you have a bag of wood, of your mixed hardwood. You can then keep track of the number of bundles and have that as a product to be available in your roadside stand or for a delivery option. So let's just say mixed hardwood bundle, and you could say 1 cubic foot of bagged mixed premium seasoned hardwood. I'll just say bag. So this is what would be the product name, and this will be the description on the invoice or in your store. You can set your price for that. Say $10. You you'd say, give you a low stock alert. So say you want to always keep 100 on hand. Once you get down to 10, you'll get alerts saying, hey, we really need to start making this, make some more of these. Allow when out of stock. So this is what I was saying with quote forms. So if the item is out of stock, you can tell them to make it visible so they can order them. And then, if you want this displayed or not on public quote forms, you can choose that there. Stacking may not apply to this, but you can add a stacking fee. So if someone comes and they want you to drop it off and put it somewhere for them, you can add a $2 stacking fee. Generally, especially if you have like a roadside stand, you're going to say the tax is included in price. Load time, doesn't take much time, but we say 5 minutes to load, 5 minutes to unload, and 5 minutes to stack. So that means that in the yard, for you to go get the thing, put it in your truck, is how much time it's going to take. Unload is going to be just getting to the property and getting it out of your truck, and then stacking is going to be the amount of time to walk it from your truck to the stack and back. So it may not make sense for the bag, but we'll add this product. All right, so now I'm going to add a new product. We'll just say mixed hardwood. Full cord. Full cord of seasoned premium mixed hardwood. All right, so now this is where we get to say, maybe it's a bulk wood. We say it's a cord. And if you wanted to link it, this is where you would link it. Now, if you don't want to do inventory, you can just select no inventory tracking, and now it won't really display like as out of stock, because some people can get wood real easy. You say, all right, you want this, I'll get it to you in 3 days, and then tomorrow you go get the wood you need, cut it up, get it ready for delivery. Charge your price. This one I'll just say, look at. All right. Allow when out of stock, offer stacking. So for a full cord, if it takes you, let's just say 30 minutes, why not charge $1 a minute? And allow this on the quote forms. Again, now we're going to maybe add tax to this price. This may take a little bit longer to load, so you do 20 minutes load. If you have a nice dump trailer, 10 minutes to unload, but to stack it would take you 30 minutes. This is where you can incorporate that with your stacking fee. All right, so now we got a bulk wood there. Let's do another mixed hardwood. Face cord. So face cord. And you can define it 1/3 cord of wood. Premium seasoned mixed hardwood. Now again, I understand that this may not be legal in your state to call it this, but I'm just going through it here. So now we got this price. So this is going to be your base price, because this may not include a this doesn't include delivery fees. This doesn't include stacking fees and whatnot. So maybe I'll do a $10, $20 stacking fee. And again, you can set the volume, what that really means. So basically it's 128 divided by 3. That gives you that volume. Let's say add tax, load time, unload, stacking 15 minutes, and go from there. Create product. And let's say you have other things. So even if it's a roadside stand or whatnot, you can do individual items. So we'll say honey, 1 quart jar. 1 quart local organic honey. And we say it's each, $10. And then public, we'll say tax included. And again, if say if you're having a roadside stand, you probably don't really need to worry about any of these things. There you go. And then now we have services. So this is something you can set up. Let's say you want to get someone's house, and you can say, they have a fallen tree. You can say cut, split, stack, customer, wood. Alright, so just like that, we will arrive to your property to cut, split, and stack your wood for you. Say it's a service. Now you can do again, set it by each, so just cost per hour, per cord, per load, flat rate, hourly rate. So let's do hourly rate, $100 an hour, and charge tax for the service at tax to price. So now this shows up as a service. So here we have just the basic products and services for your company. And it may come that people that want something special, so you can just do special certain fees. Maybe it's like a one-off service that doesn't quite fit with what you have in here. Again, you can add all your custom fees. We'll just leave that blank for now. And that is basically how you set up your inventory and products and services that can be used in your quotes, used in your call screens, used in your quote forms, to help standardize what you got going on in your company.